Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, your daily fix of football chat here on STV. The main talking points tonight: Rangers restored their 5-point advantage over Hibernian in the Championship with a 2-0 win over Morton last night, but the manager Mark Warburton far from happy with the red card for Andy Halliday. East Kilbride are looking for a new venue for their Scottish Cup tie against Celtic, and the St Johnstone fans are far from happy with the SPFL. That's just a few of the topics we'll be discussing. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and our bootroom guest is Hugh MacDonald. Delighted to have Hugh with us. Rangers, first of all, Ruffy, 5 points ahead after that win last night.
Yeah, I think Morton played particularly well, made it hard for Rangers, but I think once Rangers got the goal, you know, there was only going to be one winner, and they'll be quietly confident of winning that game, getting the points and moving on, because there'll be a lot of hard games in the running.
Yet again, the referee this time destroys my faith in football. A red card, obviously the second yellow for Andy Halliday, is ridiculous, Hugh.
It looks as well as if it was assistant linesman or the assistant referee, that's literally flagged that up to him, you know. I mean, my views on interaction with fans anyway, I think it's ridiculous what footballers have got to put up with, you know. Different if he was jumping in. I mean, it's, 21 years since Cantona? Different if it was that, but a gesture into the crowd, give us peace. And of course he can't appeal either because the second yellow.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, we're starting to make this game less and less appealing to fans. If you can't get to a situation, I mean, I've been at games where the fans have given a player pelters, Ruffy, and then eventually he does something back and they're all up in arms making a complaint about it. And I think Andy Halliday only did that. I'm not even sure what was at the Morton fans or not, but it's a nonsense.
Yeah, it is a nonsense, but unfortunately there's up-and-coming referees and up-and-coming linesmen who need to go by the letter of the law, and they'll be pulled up if they're seen to be not actively pursuing the law. You know, I mean, I think it's out of order, that we are right, but if it's in there, but gesturing to the crowd could cause trouble here or there, and they apply. If they don't apply the rules, then somebody else will pull them up for it. But it remains to be seen what's in the report, and then when it's in, although Hugh says they can't appeal it, it'd be interesting to see what it actually says in black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. Over and above that, Hugh, we're going to get to a situation. Somebody's going to score a goal. There'll be no cuddling each other. There'll be no kisses handed out. It'll be a straight Jimmy Bullard. You'll shake hands with all your teammates and then you'll make your way back to the centre spot.
I know. The great thing about modern football as well, I think, it was one of the great things about modern football, is the celebration. The way it's changed from the days when I used to watch football, when it was a gentlemanly handshake and a ruff of the hair. You know, people call it Bullard's celebration. We'll all remember that. And part of the whole joy of football is that celebration of goals, that sort of manifestation of emotion for everybody. I mean, I love that. I love that in football.
Yeah, and just in case you think we're being fuddy-duddies about this, get on YouTube and look up Sammy Nelson's celebration when he decided to drop his shorts and show the crowd his backside. Maybe taking it a stage too far. But Andy Halliday for a celebration of a goal, come on. Nevertheless, two good goals. One of them, Kenny Miller, as Predators do, and Barry Mackay as well.
Yeah, and what they've done is they've taken the pressure off Waghorn a wee bit. You know, usually when your top scorer's not scoring, puts a wee bit of pressure on everybody else. That's not the case. There are other players prepared to chip in with goals.
Okay, from one nonsense to another. Now this one, let's pull no punches on this one so that we don't fudge the issue, Ruffy. East Kilbride are now looking for a new venue for their Scottish Cup tie, which, let's be honest, they'll announce it and everybody moves on. But this one is farcical on the basis that the SFA say that they had no obligation to make any calls regarding this in their tournament. It's down to the clubs. Now, there's two or three aspects to this, Hugh. East Kilbride say they'd contacted Hamilton Accies. Hamilton Accies say they weren't happy because apparently East Kilbride were making noises about them being the 6th or 7th choice venue for it. Suddenly, we've got to presume that there was a call between East Kilbride and Hamilton. I think that's fair.
Yep.
We then got to actually look at it and say to ourselves, OK, suddenly there's a huge demand from East Kilbride, and obviously they want to make lots of money out of it, and maybe you're looking at it and they're saying to themselves, well, they want a bigger venue. And suddenly Hamilton say they're not taking it anymore.
I know, the whole thing.
I'm sorry, it's not on.
Absolutely, the whole thing, I mean, to such an extent that the SFA in this instance, they're saying there's no obligation to do it. In this very high-profile incident, if I was in the SFA, one of my first priorities over the last couple of days would get this sorted, get this out of the way, because this is an accident waiting to happen in publicity terms. And now there seems to be, there's more than a suggestion that money's coming into play now, it's just, I mean, you know me, I'm always sceptical about all this romance of the cup, you know.
Yeah.
And this proves, you know, there's very little romance when the old Looker comes out.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Hugh, because it's romance of the pound. Let's be honest about it here, Ruffy, because what should have happened, the SFA should have said, OK, your ground doesn't meet the requirements of the safety standards to host Celtic. This is where you're going to be playing it. We've contacted them. It's all arranged. It's set in stone. It's our tournament. These are the rules. Get on with it. The minute you leave it open to somebody to think, we should be looking at maybe... I mean, we were joking last week saying that East Kilbride are going to hold it in the Maracana, but...
Yeah, again, as soon as a team like East Kilbride, it's all about the money. You know, they have to try and bring in as much money as possible. We're led to believe that there was dialogue between the two teams. I don't know why they were given an option of 5 venues to pick for. As you said, they should have been sensible enough to go for one that would get a reasonable crowd. But the excuses that have been thrown in now, and I'm surprised at the FA, because Hamilton, that's a bingo afternoon at Hamilton. That
Yes,
venue,
yeah.
that's all of a sudden, you know, why they can't play there.
No.
Everybody knew that.
Well, I know you're being rather jokey about it, but let's be clear on this. Suddenly there are youth games which take on more importance, which, come on, I mean, we're in the 21st century. I'm not having that either. They should have, listen, taken away from Hamilton. Hamilton, you know, obviously one of the venues where they could have hosted it. They want to play in AstroTurf, but don't let them make the decision. And no disrespect to East Kilbride, they want to make money.
But I mean, that's where there's been a signal failure. I mean, the SFA rules, which they put out the other day for clarification to us all, you know, stated that they only had to come up with options. But I tell you what, if I'd have been in the SFA, I'd been looking at this from day one and saying, this is a hot potato here, and we're going to be right on top of this every stage of the way, you know, because this had hot potato written all over it as far as, you know. And now it's coming a week where the Panto season is going to extend into, you know, another month, you know.
If you were looking at our game, Ruffy, right now, and if you were outside it looking in, you'd actually be laughing at the whole situation. Yeah,
for an association to get... they'll say that it's not their fault at all, but for them to be involved in something like this, and as you've said, and said to somebody, a figurehead just saying, right, this is what's happening, you'll play there or you'll not be in the tournament, that's what you have to do. But certainly right from the very start, I mean, I just don't know why the obvious thing just wasn't to have it at Celtic Park. Yeah, well, now we're in a situation where we're wondering what venue will be, and I would guarantee you that it's going to be a venue that's got more seats than Hamilton has.
I think, yeah, the old Brucey, higher, very much so. And they're going to announce it tomorrow, so we're not going to be in tenterhooks for too long, I don't think. So, yeah, I mean, there'll be more seats, more people in. Yeah, and of course, the last point on this, and I don't want to be disrespectful to East Kilbride, they're looking at it, they're not going to cause a shock. I mean, it's not to, you know, you're not looking at venues where they're now cherry picking to think if we get them on this surface, they're not going to be happy with it. No, I think if you ask anybody at East Kilbride, they've been realistic. You know, it's all about getting money in, you know, and the players enjoying the day, the whole of East Kilbride enjoying the day. More importantly, it's a community club, you know, and they're the ones that's why I'm surprised. Right at the start, I thought a 6,000 or 7,000 capacity crowd wasn't enough. So that's the really thing that surprised me, because the whole of East Kilbride will want to go to that game. Yep, absolutely. We're going to talk about the two League Cup semi-finals, I beg your pardon, coming up at the weekend. Certainly two that we are looking forward to, and 4 teams with aspirations to land the first piece of silverware, Hugh. Yeah, very interesting matchups as well, and people, as we know, managers already talking about trebles, and they're not Celtic managers. Yes, absolutely. And of course, Hibs in action at the weekend. St Johnstone, we're going to discuss how they are unhappy, and we're also going to discuss the Scottish Cup 4th round match that's taking place eventually tonight due to the weather. Ruffy, I think we're all
fingers crossed, Dundee, Falkirk, it's going to get the go-ahead.
Yeah, it's good. And I think Dundee will know they're in a game. I think Falkirk are a team who obviously maybe disappointed last week with the draw at Livingston, but they'll go up there thinking they can cause a shock.
OK, we're going to get predictions of these two lads on that. We'll find out why St Johnstone fans are far from happy with the SPFL. Everybody's arguing, everybody's fighting, apart from Ruffy, Hugh MacDonald and myself. But there's still time. Join us after the break to find out if we reach fisticuffs. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff and Hugh MacDonald of the Herald are here with me for the programme today, and we've been talking about so many disputes, fights going on in Scottish football. Struggle to actually talk about the football, but nevertheless, now we've got St Johnstone who are unhappy as a group of supporters with the SPFL. Now, I've looked at the website, and the SPFL have clarified things here. Obviously, St Johnstone were told if you can sell your 3,300, there could be an extra 500 in the main stand for you, for your supporters. Now, they've done that in double quick time for this League Cup semi-final. The SPFL say, following discussions with safety and security staff at Tynecastle and on the advice of Police Scotland, the SPFL has agreed that it will be unable to release tickets in Section N, the upper of the main stand at Tynecastle, to supporters of St Johnstone. The advice has been provided for safety and security reasons and considers the available access and egress routes to and from Section N and the need to ensure segregation of supporters. Rather than leave Section N upper unused, the tickets have now been released to Hibs for the sale to their supporters. Now, I have to say, if you're told, here's the carrot, if you sell this much you can get an extra 500, you can't then take it away from them, Hugh. And can we not all go to a section? I mean, St Mirren and Partick Thistle fans went together in a game in the Cup.
The whole thing's preposterous because do they not know that was the layout beforehand? They knew that this was going to be the case, and that was all right. And then suddenly, when it becomes the case that they might have to do it, they then scuttle away for advice to see if it's all right. I mean, that should have been done in the first instance to see if it was okay. And I agree with you as well. I mean, the sort of big worries about, a rammy between Hibs and St Johnstone fans, give us peace.
I think I'm led to believe that the big worry was not in section N, where they could segregate with the police going up and down. The problem was the health and safety is when they all eventually went for the toilet at half time, where they couldn't man. So they thought they couldn't man the toilets. They couldn't man the toilets. There wouldn't be any problems in the stand.
Yes.
It'd be when both sets of fans went into the toilets. They thought that's where the problem would be.
I mean, I don't know about you, Ruffy. I have constantly thought to myself, I think I'll go to the toilet, and I spotted a fan over there that I'm really going to get into a fight with.
Sure, that seems to be the problem.
That's ridiculous, Hugh. I mean, honestly, can you not get a set of fans, League Cup semi-final? I mean, there are fans who will actually go there as part of hospitality and have to cross with fans of the opposition.
And surely as well, I mean, two or three cops just standing in that aisle just to say, we're here in case there's a couple of lunatics. I mean, come on. We're not, I think it's Scottish football is now getting to the stage where it's getting more and more difficult to get into a game, It's really ludicrous now. It's really ludicrous in that we should be selling this game, trying to get tickets away to everybody, and now we're in the situation where we're actually restricting the rights of people to go to football.
And amazingly, though, we seem to be something that's at times lost per head of population.
Yep.
We are up there, as one of the top countries in Europe, Hugh, for people going to watch football. It's almost as if we've got a death wish on this one. Just keep hammering them, and sooner or later the straw will break the camel's back.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I always thought, anytime we're ever reporting in a football match, somebody said to, you'd be sitting at Rugby Park for, Kilmarnock v East Fife in a League Cup game on a Wednesday night when there was live football from England on, and people say, not much of a crowd here. I say, what? 2,000 people came out in the freezing cold to watch this rather than sit at home and watch it. I mean, I think the Scottish football fan is vastly underrated for the capacity to go out and watch football and pay their money. And It is. They are being treated very poorly at the moment. Really being treated poorly.
Yeah, Scottish football fan is certainly resilient, to say the least.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately the good supporters that are out there are the ones that have been punished, because obviously every time we hear it's always health and safety, in the light of the small minority are letting off flares and spoiling it for everybody else, are just making it worse, because the people are clamping down more. And it's the good supporter that's going along to a game just to watch the football that's really getting punished.
Yep, absolutely, and I don't think we'll ever get rid of it, Hugh, because even when the big two get together, that will bring its own problems next season.
Oh yeah, I mean that's and they'll be gearing up for that already. I mean, police have been talks about all that already for big matches next year.
Okay, before I get your predictions on the cup matches, Paul Quinn leaves Aberdeen, terminates his contract, heads back to Ross County.
Yeah, I think he was sort of a short signing. Obviously with Reynolds being out there for a wee while, Ash Taylor was out as well, so they brought him in as cover. But these two are back again now, and they have got cover, so I think the boy just wants to play.
Yep, okay, I can understand that one. What about Malonga? Was the writing on the wall as soon as Anthony Stokes arrived?
Yeah,
Hugh?
I think so, and I think Malonga had been been talking about for a while leaving, and it was almost certainly going to leave in the summer, so they've just switched wages probably and got him away.
No disrespect to the boy, there were times, Ruffy, when you thought he could do something outrageous, brilliant, and then there were other times when you thought, oh, he's on the park.
Yeah, he's one of these players that you criticise me for calling a luxury player. I think he has got amazing ability and he scores fantastic goals, but he's not a team. I don't think he works as a team, and I think Alan Stubbs has went in there and brought a certain player to the club, and I just don't think he fills in that remit.
I can't ever remember me criticising you for you calling Malonga a luxury player.
I'm just saying
I think you said Gary Harkins was
but I think he
luxury player.
comes into that category.
Do you think he's in that category?
I think he does. His work rate's not great. You know, if the ball gets put out to a fullback, you don't see him chasing across to shut off the avenue going down there. He sort of mopes about, and he needs a spark to get wakened. And I think the way things are going now at Hibs, they need 11 players who are totally focused and putting in a right shift. And unfortunately, that's when he comes into that category.
Yep. Gordon Smith was on the programme yesterday, Hugh, and we've established a new era of straight to the point, because Ruffy, as you'll notice, likes to pad it up and set up the prediction. So on the League Cup semi-finals, Hibs against St Johnstone.
Oh, I think it's a smashing game. I got great admiration for Tommy Wright. I think he's a smashing manager, so I'll go for St Johnstone.
Yep, okay. And are they playing what effectively, as Tommy Wright said yesterday, a Premiership team in Hibs? Do you think they're a Premiership team?
Well, they're not. And you slaughtered me for saying that the Championship race is over, but I think the best Hibs are going to be in the playoffs. So I think they could be the second worst team in the Premiership. They could. I just fancy St Johnstone though.
Yeah, okay. Ruffy?
Yeah, I think Hibs are getting St Johnstone at the right time. I don't think that St Johnstone are playing badly. I just think they're not playing as well as what they were a couple of months ago, and Hibs have got a lot to go for, and I think Hibs will just narrowly win it.
Ross County, Celtic?
Celtic for me. Yeah, I think Celtic are playing well at the moment. I think they've got confidence. I think certain players are coming back into form. Ross County have had a good season, but I watched them against Aberdeen, and defensively they were pretty suspect at times.
I think the only hope for Ross County would be obviously Boyce and Curran were to come back. They're two strikers, but I think Celtic got far too much firepower.
Okay, this next part we've got to tread very carefully, because apparently in the media you can get a little precious if you're being criticised. Dundee Dundee against Falkirk. Dundee, one of the finest teams ever. The manager's a tactical genius. he knows how to shape his team up. Yeah. I'm not even going to show you anything on my new bit of kit here. He's all right by me.
And it's a beautiful city.
Oh, it's one of the finest.
If
you're going on holiday, Dundee's the place to go.
You know? And if you can take a match in while you're in holiday as well, it's even better. You know?
Exactly. So, are we looking at the visionary, which is Paul Hartley, or the experience of Peter Houston?
Hartley-Ola. I think that's another good game. I just I fancy Dundee because I think Dundee have got in important positions. They've got real quality in important positions. Harkins for one, and Stewart. I really like Stewart as well.
No, I just think the tactical genius of Paul Hartley that there's only going to be one winner here.
I'm sorry. He'll have that defence, Marshall. They'll know when to come out and move back in again. And also Forfar against Linlithgow, Rose Ruffy.
Yeah, I hope Linlithgow win. I'd
Yeah.
like to see a junior team getting a wee bit further, yeah.
That was a surprise.
Well, Linlithgow did really well with 10 men in the first game, come back from 3-1 down to take it. I would like to see Linlithgow win as well. There you go.
We junior teams. Incidentally, here's the Junior Cup draw for you that was made earlier this afternoon. If you're a supporter of the junior fans and the junior teams, then you'll be interested in your team, see exactly who they managed to get. Okay, thanks to Hugh MacDonald, thanks to Alan Ruffin, from myself, Peter Martin. We don't care if people say we're rubbish. Criticism.